Well, we just came back from a little Viking shop.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked with a guy named Norman. He was an older gentleman, and he had done a lot of carvings of whalebone.
Yes.
And whalebone and stuff from whales anyway. But there were two types of things. There was ivory from whales or something, I'm not sure. But a little bit of a thick accent, kind of hard to understand a little bit, but I caught most of it.
Yes.
But he loved to talk about his craft, and he did some beautiful work and
gorgeous work.
And it was expensive. It was anything we were going to buy, and I told him it was a little out of our price range, but it was definitely worth it. You pick up a pair of earrings,
yes,
right? So we couldn't leave without picking up something.
Yes.
And just a little shop, and he'd been there for a long time. He sits there and sells stuff, and there was some touristy stuff in it too, but a lot of just his place to sell his carvings. He showed us a sword that he made out of a narwhal sword, a swordfish type thing.
Yeah.
It was ivory. Looked ivory.
Yeah.
And
the wheel, the part of it was whalebone.
Yeah, the handle.
The handle.
The hilt.
But
yeah.
The other
and
one
he had made it for some anniversary of the Vikings, because this is called the Viking Road or the Viking Trail, and it's either descendants of Vikings or people who just celebrate them, I guess, up here. We are at a restaurant that's recommended on iOverlander. We stopped for coffee because that's all they have in the morning, but we'll be coming back for lunch because it's highly recommended. It's a little fishing village, and let me show you the inlet for it, and I can see why it's here. So the harbor is here, and you can see the narrow opening that goes out to the ocean out there. So this is an extremely protected harbor. Right now the water is very calm, so it's an ideal place. And if this was originally a Viking settlement, which there is up the road, I can see why they picked this. Maybe it's a fjord to settle in or to travel to. So we're headed up the road now to places that really have no name for maybe about an hour round trip, and then we'll come back here to the restaurant and have lunch.
Have fish and chips.
Looks like it's going to be cod. Cod is the catch of the day here. That's cod, and there's some salmon, but where we come from, it would be haddock and salmon and things, but up here it's cod. It's all cod. Supposedly it's very fresh. So
yeah,
we're off.
Yeah.
So we'll be going out and walking around this area that was an old Viking settlement. It was peacefully abandoned long ago, and they burned the buildings so no one else could use them, and they took everything of value with them. Okay, we've come from the visitor center.
Yes.
And we're headed out on this boardwalk for quite a long walk over to the Norseman Historic Village. This is a, let's go, Joyce. This is a World Heritage Site because it is the first place in North America where the Vikings, or as they're properly called, Northmen, landed. They came over from Greenland after hopping over from Norway, and they came here because it was a good place to set up a base camp to get to New Brunswick, which had a much warmer climate at the time. So did this area. And they came after wood. They came after, believe it or not, grapes, because there were vineyards there at the time, and all of the other types of things, furs and everything that it offered. This is just some art object along the way. Definitely looks carved. There's no plaque to tell us what it is. Looks like a sail, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close to the Norse village, which is right up there. It's beautiful, beautiful scenery, huh, Joyce?
Yes.
All these items have names. They're all markers. It seems that they navigated by landforms even coming across the ocean, so that they needed these landmarks, which is one of the reasons that this area was chosen. Even at the time, it wasn't that rich in resources in this particular spot. According to the video we saw at the visitor center, anyway. How are we doing, Joyce? Ready to move on?
Yep.
So right here, this was a furnace building and a place where there was a forge. Not much left of what was here, but these were definitely buildings, and this was an archaeological dig that they did. Remember, the buildings were burned and must have deteriorated over hundreds of years. So this building was a dwelling and a small forge. This one, from the artifacts they found, were a house and a workshop and habitation. This was a dwelling, and it was for ship repair, and they forged iron here. All of the houses have sod roofs. Metalsmithing. Some of those tools look a little modern to me.
Yeah.
And a hearth.
Get the.
Yeah, this one is stone all around and not wood or in the ground. Forge, maybe?
Yeah.
From what we understand, you can't leave here without having some seafood.
Yes.
Scallops. I am really splurging. I'm having cod, which is the fish of the area. Everybody here fishes for cod. How are they, Joyce? Good? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Here's our journey so far from home to here. Point A is where we stayed at Cape Norman at the lighthouse last night. Point B is up in the area where the Norseman Viking village was. And the blue dot is where we are now. Panoramic Harbor is what we're overlooking now. Let me show you. This is the road we came up. It actually is steeper than it looks as I'm looking at the camera right now. And if we wanted to, we could go up here. So the road you just looked at actually is about this steep when you're looking at it from the bottom. Radio tower up there. After a long climb, almost straight up from down there, we're the only ones, because there's only one parking spot, up here.
Hello.
Well, we climbed up 364 feet from sea level to the edge of this hill, and we're the only ones up here, and we're the only ones that can fit up here. I mean, I drove the camper in, and I'll be able to back it into a small opening to turn around to go out, and that's it. But it is spectacular. There's a wind.
Yes, you can.
And I don't know if you can hear it. We have the microphones kind of hidden inside of our shirts here to try to come in.
Oh,
Oh, there's one. You almost tipped the camera over.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Now I'm thinking I'm gonna have to.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, I kind of put the camera on better ground,
Yeah.
and hopefully the wind won't knock it over. But it's not a cold wind.
No.
It's
just.
you have your jacket on. I can stay out here for a long time without one. It's not cold at all.
No.
But we had a good dinner.
Yes.
Is it the Lighthouse?
No, that's not. It was. Oh dear.
Never mind. We never know the name. It was a good restaurant.
It was a good restaurant.
And we drove up here. Overlander led us to this place.
Yeah.
And what clinched it for me was the view.
Yes.
On Overlander. Wow.
It's gorgeous up here.
Yeah. It was a dirt road. It wasn't rough. It was very gravelly, but it wasn't potholed much. But parts of it were like this. So we had four-wheel drive on, so the wheels wouldn't spin, and we kind of went up on our backs part of the way, leaning back. It'll be interesting. It'll actually be easier going down.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, put the brakes on and slide down.
Yeah.
And the cell phone connection is 4 bars up here. It's interesting. I think they have so much flat areas here, and of course a lot of it's near the ocean, that the cell towers, of course, microwaves are line of sight. And the only time you have a problem is when they get interrupted by weather or a mountain or heavy foliage and trees, particularly if it's wet. But here, you have a few hills and stuff, but I can see the cell tower over there much higher than this hill. So we have 4 bars for large areas as we're traveling through here, which is unusual because it's the most rural places we've ever traveled. And we've traveled some rural places, and we've had some of the best cell coverage up here. We have an international plan that we bought for a few weeks while we're being up here. So, and it's worked well. U.S. Cellular, by the way. So.
Yeah, we're in Viking territory, I guess.
Yes, we visited the old Viking town, or settlement rather, and I could see where this is just like in the movies, the Viking movies and the Viking TV show. The land is just like that. It's windy and very few trees and grasses and water and rocky and hilly, just like in the movies. So, well, I think we'll enjoy this for a little while out here.
Yes.
And then later on we'll go in. It's about 3:30. Get a few things done in the camper that we have to do. But it is spectacular,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.